Good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. It's 10 to 3 in the morning, 4th of July. And it's a big day for UK later on today, Thursday, the 4th of July, because it's the general election. So this is when we all got a chance to vote for who we want to be Prime Minister. And you know what? I'm so fed up with it. I'm fed up with Britain. I'm fed up with America. I just wish that the people that organise these things would just cast their net a little bit wider, because it seems to me like, I never liked David Cameron for what he's worth. I don't know if you even know him, but he was Prime Minister back in 2008. He's long gone retired, but he's back again now as something else. So they never go away. And then they end up in what they call the House of Lords. So they're in it for life, basically, whether they've done good or bad, whether they've been caught, doing wrong things, they're still in it for life. And I hate that part about it. And I think that Guy Fawkes was right. When he went to blow up the Houses of Parliament, when was that? I don't even know, 1600s. But it's time for a fresh start. And I'm not even sure. If I go out to vote tomorrow, I'll probably vote for the Reform Party, because at least they're trying to make changes. They're the only one that's trying to make changes. The other ones are just saying the same thing with different colour wrappers on them. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, let's see. I might not even vote at all, and I know that's a terrible thing to say. But what would they do if nobody voted? What would they do if absolutely nobody bothered to vote because they didn't trust anyone? I wonder what would happen then. Maybe they would give the outsiders a chance, because there's a lot of good people in the world, more good than bad, in both America and UK and all over the world. But there always seem to be, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I'm so untrusting of all political people now. And it's ever so strange, because today, six people knocking on my door, handing me leaflets from different political parties. Of course, we've got the Plaid Cymru as well, which is the Welsh party. So they all knock and they all hand deliver a leaflet to you, a pamphlet. And you never see them then. I won't see them for another 4 years when there's another election. And they'd say, oh, this is J so-and-so. I said, oh, right, okay, thank you. I just shut the door and I just put it in a pile with all the rest. Don't even read them. Because I've seen the promises, and I'm not even a Cardiffian. I'm not from Cardiff, but I've seen the promises. We had a library, a nice library. Not the big one in Cardiff city centre. That's enormous. That's fabulous library. But we had one in Roath, which is a suburb of Cardiff, and it was in an old church. Very, very nice looking church. And apparently the cellar flooded. And it flooded, and I suppose, yes, you could feel a bit damp when it went in. And they couldn't afford to fix the flooding or to sort it out. Now, come on. You need a water pump, a bilge pump, some sort of pump to pump it out, put it into the main sewage outside in a drain, and then seal all the walls, something like that. I don't think it would cost millions. And I'm sure the local community would have helped, even the men that were builders and stuff. No, instead they gave away all the books, I think. I got caught once there. Well, I didn't get caught. I made a mistake. When I was living in my last place, when I was, homeless, I didn't have a television. I didn't have a radio. I didn't have anything. So I was a good customer down this library. And this one day, I went to give my books back, and she said, "You're one book short." Oh, God, I think it was Captain Corelli's Mandolin or something. I said, "I'm not. I'll go and check." She said, "Okay." She said, "I won't hold you fine." I must have looked like a poor as a church mouse, I'm sure. And I went back and I checked, and I didn't have it. And then I realised what I'd gone and done. I was also buying books from a second-hand shop on Clifton Street. And I accidentally given the library book to the second-hand shop, because when I read them, I took them back, you see. I paid for them and then took them back. So I went to the second-hand shop, and Oh, they had hundreds and hundreds, and I was searching and searching for this book, and I couldn't find it. Now, it wasn't a new book. It was in large print because I hadn't found that I could buy glasses on eBay at that particular time. So I was reading large print. £15 this book cost to replace. And she must have known the library was closing down and that I wasn't exactly rich. I didn't look rich. So she said, oh, just give me a fiver. Oh, I was so grateful to her. So grateful. I danced out of there. Anyway, that's enough about, I don't even know why I mentioned that. Anyway, these ESPY awards, I've learned a lot more about it now. And they are quite important. It's quite an important award for this dear sweet man who died. And unfortunately, he died by friendly fire. He was in the NFL. And it's his award that comes up every year. Anyway, that if you want a ticket to go at the Dolby Theatre Los Angeles, a pair of tickets, $4,150. $4,150. And that sort of obliterates the chance for any ordinary person to go, doesn't it? They price them out of the market so that nobody that's maybe against the awards, maybe wants to protest, they won't be able to afford to get in. And this is interesting. I'd like you to take special note of this, and I don't know who wrote it. I wish I did. I'm trying to see. Let me see if I've got any information on it. I'll find out. Dear readers, I think I have some valuable information. If you believe this is not correct, let me know. And of course, we'll let it go. I'm not American, so your input is much appreciated. But if there's truth in this, I think we may have discovered something truly explosive. Here's what I found out. Recognized achievements and accolades can strengthen a visa application. Right, Harry's applying for his visa, isn't he? He's also applying to buy a house in UK so that he doesn't lose his position as Councillor of State. Harry is trying to play a very fast, crafty game. And but luckily, he's no longer a royal. They won't keep his secrets anymore. He's out there with the rest of them, and we can find these things out. An O1 visa, 01 visa, one of the criteria for demonstrating extraordinary ability is having received nationally or internationally recognised awards or prizes for excellence in the field, includes sports. So that's why Harry is so keen to get this award. It will bolster up his application for a visa, and maybe it will trump the drugs. You know, it'll cover the drugs incident up with goodness. Awards and notable achievements can help build a case for some visa applicants arguing that their admission to the US would benefit the country. Oh. Awards demonstrate a level of excellence that supports an application, making it much more likely to be approved. Now that's it, isn't it, in a nutshell? Don't need to say any more. He wants this award not because he wants something else on his mantelpiece to dust and show off about. He wants it to bolster up his visa application, which I think is all the more reason why America, you really should sign this petition. And, let me just go back to it now. Let me just go back to it. So I want to give you a connection to Pat Tillman's award. It's up to 55,000 signatures. Now, somebody has strongly objected to this petition. How do I know that? Well, the actual proof is here. Change.org has put this yellow piece on the top of we have received flags from our users that the facts in this petition may be contested. You should consider researching this issue before signing. In other words, they tried very hard to get the petition taken down. Change.org wouldn't, but did put a notification on the top of it, just reminding you to make sure you know what you're signing, that you don't want Harry to have the award. That's the top and bottom of it. I can't believe it myself. I'm absolutely gutted. You see that we have received flags from our users. That would be the Sussex Squad and Prince Harry and Meghan and their bots. The bots. So, if I can ask you, I beg you actually, and even though it doesn't go in my favour, because if he doesn't get the visa, he'll have to come to UK, and I don't want him in UK. But still, let's try and be fair here. It's not fair for America to have to tolerate this sort of jiggery-pokery, underhanded method of trying to work their way around a system, and that's what they do all the time. They try and find ways around it, ways to, without breaking the law, object, and that's what they're doing. So let me just see how we're standing at the moment with the, what's a jig, change.org, isn't it? Change.org. .org. Petition. Tillman, there we go. If you Google change.org, Tillman, 57,000 signatures. 75,000. We've got until the 11th. We've got about another week, haven't we? And I'm hoping it'll get to 100,000. I just hope so. I really do. And what I love about this award is that people, just ordinary people, that you can see here. Some people, that's like me, don't want to show their face.
This is not cool. He never served in the U.S. military. He's not a pilot. He's lied. She lies. He lies. There's no kids. They're both liars. Fake charity. I believe they're corrupt. I believe they need to be in jail. And I think you guys need to check him more thoroughly before you put him up for awards from now on. He needs to leave. I don't believe he's here legally.
There we go. I don't believe he's here legally. Why do you think he wants the award? We've just answered that question. Here's the First Lady. I think she put the petition...
Shame on ESPN giving a British traitor, one who ran away from his country, a life of service to glorify himself and enrich himself using his titles. Pat Tillman was an American hero. He was the exact opposite of what has-been Hank is.
I'll stop it. Has-been Hank. I love these people because they are just ordinary Americans. They are the majority, but they're the silent majority. The people that, well, look at me. I might not even vote tomorrow, but some people are just overlooked because they are just ordinary people, and they're outsmarted, they're outnumbered, and they're outmoneyed by the likes of Harry and Meghan. I'm one of those people. I've signed the petition. Will you sign the petition? You don't have to be American to sign it either, because I put UK on mine, it got through. Listen to this one.
How could you do this?
Please remove Harry from the Tillman Award and give it to a real soldier or a real hero and an American hero.
I think these women are heroes. Here we have another one.
ESPN, you said that the people were voting for Prince Harry. Well, if the people are voting for Prince Harry, then why are they all complaining?
That's another one. I'm shortening these, by the way.
I find it hard to understand why you're even giving this man an award. He's not an American citizen. He's a traitor to his own country and to his family.
There you go. We've heard that one. Let's hear this one.
A bum on the street would be more deserving to be even in that building than Prince Harry.
That's good. A bum on the street would be more deserving. Here's another one.
Pat Tillman is a hero. Harry is a traitor.
Oh, yeah.
He's a runaway. His family, he turned on them, and nobody turns on family. Pat Tillman did what he wanted to instead of becoming a millionaire with the NFL. If Harry for 1 second thinks that he deserves his Pat Tillman award, he should be shot instead.
Oh, wow. That's hard hitting. Well said, Mrs. Well said. They're just fantastic.
Let's get justice for our American soldiers. Giving Harry, a traitor from another country, this award, who is nothing but disrespectful and disgraceful to his own family, more or less country, is ridiculous. We have very deserving men and women in the military that deserve this more than anyone.
I absolutely love listening to these because I love to hear what ordinary, plain, hard-working Americans that very rarely get onto the big shows today. You know, very rarely do you hear the voices of ordinary. I hear them in my comments. At least I think you're all ordinary. I might have the odd millionaire or billionaire there, but actually I don't think so. But I absolutely love ordinary people speaking from the heart, and they are. And these are gold to me. This is another.
I just don't think that Harry deserves this award. He abandoned his family, wrote a tell-all book about how horrible they all are.
Yeah.
Many people that he served with in the military stated how he just stayed in the bunker and played video games. He even stated in his own memoir how he didn't understand the impact of the war till he was on the plane afterwards and saw people injured. I mean, Pat Tillman sacrificed his own life for the good of...
God, yeah, he did. And you remember when Harry and Meghan went to the Lion King premiere so that they could meet Beyonce and Harry could beg for a job with the Walt Disney CEO, Bob Iger, and pick up a £3 million or dollar check, which probably they didn't pay any tax on. And you know what I was showing you last night from the Royal Grift about the deficit of 4 million, that's all that we know about. There might be more. 6 million they had from Fidelity Grant Foundation, and they've only declared 2 million on their tax return. Well, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was trying to get at then. But, never mind. Let's listen to the next one.
We all know you're trying to fix your PR, Harry. We'll give you your privacy.
It amazes me that these people have actually read his book Spare. They've splashed out hard-earned money to read that book. I bought it too. I still haven't finished it, but I've got enough quotes in there to rubbish Harry for the rest of my life. Terrible. One of his teachers, she had severe arthritis, so when she used to come down the stairs, she had to walk backwards, which is something that a lot of people have to do. He put that in his book and made fun of her and said how they all made fun of her. That's not the sort of thing. And even his ghostwriter, Mohinger or somebody, said that Harry had to have the last say at the end of every chapter. He couldn't let it go where he looked as though he was beaten, you know. But if you're the son of a king, you will be beaten by somebody, if not the king, your brother. There are people with more clout than you. But he seemed to think he's above telling him off, or he's above criticism. And that's the part that is never going to be hammered out of him. Never. Or Meghan, because her father gave her a false sense of grandeur. She always thought she thinks she deserves Harry. That's why she treats him with so much, contempt, actually. And I sometimes think to myself, when things get a bit bad, I think, oh, come on now, say, can you imagine what it must be like being married to Harry and having to, even just in public, be nice to him? Because he's the archetypical spoilt boy, ruined, not by his family so much as by his babysitters and his private secretaries and his yes men. Meghan now was more than happy to join with him, and together they really do think they're superior to all these people here. They do think that, oh, we'll throw a bit of money at Christopher Boozy and he'll shut them up, he'll do. And that's where this has come from. We have received flags from our users. Not right that they should have to put this up. So I'm going to put the link. If I can, let me see if I can. Patty McKell started it. I've no idea who she is. Share this petition. Yeah, how do you share it? I don't think I can do. I shouldn't do that. Don't know. I don't know what a QR code is. I haven't got that far yet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Share, and then I'll copy Earl. There we go. Now I've copied it. So that's that, as far as we know. Petition launch, and now and another thing now is that. Here we go. That's it. Let's go. Do you remember when I put that as my thumbnail? It said 100,000. I can guarantee you will have it by the end of the week. And yes, the brazen hussy said, yes, we routinely raise 100k plus. Well, what they were doing was asking the Sussex squad, their sisters, to donate money to charities and things. I don't know where that money was going, but they were emptying people's purses. And it's awful when somebody is so hypnotized. Maybe it's lonely people. Maybe, I mean, I'm going to step out of the thing and say they were probably black women, maybe widows or single women, older on their own. And they'd lost their confidence to the point that when somebody high up in the Sussex squad, like Pagan Trelawney or Sarah Data, showed them a little bit of attention and then asked them for money, they gave it. That is one of the saddest. And actually, that's one of the things that angers me more than anything. Nobody should feel guilted or desperate enough or lonely enough to part with money. No way. You would never do that if I was around you. Never, never, never. If you want to give, you give. I gave £10 the other day to Tommy Robinson. He's over in Canada at the moment. In fact, he can't leave Canada. And straight away I thought, oh, poor bugger, he's got kids and he's doing so much for illegal immigration in UK. And then the next day up he puts these videos of him having fun in a Canadian gym, his hotel's gym. I thought, oh God, I don't know, why am I giving him? I wished I hadn't given him, or at least I wish I'd given him maybe a £5 and put the rest to a donkey sanctuary. But then, you know, no matter where you give money these days, you don't know how much goes to the actual cause and how much goes in administration costs. Oh, that takes me back to what I forgot I was saying. The £4,000 discrepancy because they received 6 million from Fidelity Foundation grants and they declared 2 million. Do you remember why they registered their charity in Delaware? Was because the tax rate was the lowest in the whole of America at 5% for charities. 5%. So even though they're down to paying 5% on their income, they still had to swindle the IRS. They still had to do it, even though it was only 5%, when some people, I don't know who, but some people pay 20%, 25%, you know. They only were paying 5% and they still wanted to pay less. Meghan Markle is tight-fisted. She'd skin a flea for a halfpenny. She'd peel an orange in her pocket. Oh, there's all sorts of things I can say about tight-fisted people. Even though, it was like that Scottish man. He won a couple of million on the lottery, you know. And his wife said to him, "Oh, Hamish," she said, "what shall we do with the begging letters?" And he said, "Keep sending them out." There's some people, it's never enough. It's never enough. So they've even tried to evade tax now on 4 million at 5%. Bloody shameful it is. So the money that they were raising, and I think it did get up to quite a lot more than 100k, was for the Byline Times to rubbish Dan Wootton and get him the sack. The real Sarah, she organised it for them to investigate Dan Wootton because they reckon that he was a paedophile young boy. Somebody was tweeting that he was raped by Dan Wootton. Oh, I don't know. But you never know the full story. Dan Wootton kept quiet, wouldn't talk about it. Dan is still suspended by GB News, although he still may be receiving his salary. I don't know about that. But anyway, he's come back with his own YouTube channel, Dan Wootton Uncensored or something. So that's good. Sarah Data. Yeah, here we go. I live in the top 5 wealthiest zip codes in the US. Tribeca. Average annual household income, roughly 900k. See, this girl, Sarah Data, may not be Sarah Nakash. I think she used Sarah Nakash as a front, because there was a Sarah Nakash that looked a little bit like her and worked for Casper Mattresses. I don't think that's her real name, but I know she came from Nigeria and she went to Sweden, and I know she ended up in America. I'm sorry about that, America, but that's the way it goes. She's got a brother still in Sweden because she's tweeted about him wanting her to send him the new McDonald's Shazan sauce. Oh, something ridiculous, I don't know. That's her. That's her. And there she says, Sadie Quinlan, a.k.a. Yankee Wally, is about to understand the meaning of consequences. What did I do? I didn't do anything. Never had a copyright strike. There we go. Now, let's look at this. Hang on, I got to blow my nose. So sorry about that. Hang on. What? Oh, where is it? Right, this is, I don't know who put this together either. This is not a bad breakdown, to be honest. It's been a long time coming, and I got to be honest, they've led us a merry old dance, back and forth. Like Sarah suddenly said, "Oh yes, I'm Sarah Nakash and I work for Casper Mattresses in a sweatshop." And for somebody to give up that information so willingly, you should know then that it's not her. But anyway, the PR scripts went to Boozy in America, Omid Scooby in UK. And then from there it went down to Pagan Trelawney, I don't know where she is at the moment, Ian Sexton, and Sarah Data. Now, Sarah Data had a job with Google, it was, not YouTube, Google. But Google owns YouTube, so it's the same. They cross her. Sarah Data has been proved to work for Google because she accidentally used her Sarah Data account to converse with somebody who asked her to reboot the Google, reboot something because they were trying to have a one team talk or something, and she said, "I'm on it." And unfortunately, she used the wrong account to reply. She used Sarah Data. And so the whole conversation that she was involved with was in the the push-pull buttons of Google. And Ian Sexton has always been very, very, very suspicious. Let me just take you a little bit further into the life of Ian Sexton. Yes, X. There you go. Now, global citizen with 3. That's a lot of followers. Although he is following a lot, but that is a lot of followers. And usually when someone has that many followers, they're usually an influencer or somebody of relative importance, maybe an MP, maybe a senator, or somebody with a big yogurt factory, something like that. But he's got nothing except a webpage. So let's take a look at that webpage, shall we? All right, okay. Well, where's the menu? Well, I'm actually leading you up the garden path here. There is no menu. There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing except nothing. There's nothing there. If I bring that, no, that's it. There's nothing there. That's all it is. That is all it is. Lifestyle247.com is a totally blank network. There's nothing there. What's here? Share, find, add to home screen, desktop, there's nothing. There's no menu. There's nothing. Oh, hang on, what's that? Let's pull that down, shall we? What's that? Oh, here we go. We got a bit here. I didn't see that before. Anyway, it won't make any difference to what I say about him. Vendor management and governance programs. Well, he's more or less Sapiens. He's giving the game away there. Ian Sexton is a farmer or a pimp. He's actually, yeah, this is similar. He's kind of talking about it without talking about it. He's an organizer of, if you want to boost something, like if you had a new project out, like Megan with her jam, she obviously hasn't hired him for her jam promotion because she doesn't want to do it yet, or I don't know why. But he can put up to 500,000 bots on it to retweet or tweet, whatever they call it in X. They can keep on. And I've got screenshots. In fact, if you look at these accounts, right, he's following the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 5, they are not his bots. They are independently Sussex Squad. They are absolutely, all these are independent Sussex Squad. And they've been around for donkey's years. Yeah. But then when you go further on down, here's your bots. They'll all be down there. They're all bots. He's following them and they're following him because he's controlling them. All of them. Ian Sexton is doing something that Elon Musk would be very cross about. It's going again. But of course he's hidden it all, isn't he? You can't see it really there. Because what he does is he tries to cover it then, say, hey, squaddies, I wonder if you can help me. I work with dozens of squaddies over the last months, and he needed their help to open clean water for 250 families in a village in Biafra. Biafra, we were supporting Biafra in UK when I was not even a teenager. I can remember, because my mother used to say to me, you've got to eat all your milk from your cereal or else they won't. You think of those Biafrans. That's what she used to say. I can remember it. Biafra. Are they still not settled out and got it all? Anyway, that's lovely, isn't it? He's had that pinned for for 2 years now. He's had that pinned because that's the only good and decent above board thing he's done. Oh, hang on. Happy birthday to my grandson Dimitri. Dimitri, that's Greek. Okay, oh, that's a nice cake. I like the look of that. Kelly's Irish Pub. That's Dimitri. Good old Dimitri. Happy birthday, Dimitri. That's a nice cake, mind. I'd eat the cake, but I don't want the company. But Ian Sexton is not a... He can't get enough of rubbishing the royal family. He hates the royals. Meghan always wins. She doesn't win. Oh, come on. Look how she's fallen. God, how the mighty have fallen. It's shameful. I don't know how you'd feel, but if I'd married into the royal family and I don't know, had a meltdown, had a personality switch, or whatever mad thing would make me behave like she did, I would be mortified. I would probably kill myself, to be honest. I wouldn't be able to live with the knowledge of what I'd done to my husband's family, to my husband's country. I really would be so full of shame. I think I'd be wearing a mohair vest like Thomas a Becket for the rest of my life. I wouldn't be able to live with her. But her, no. News out now is that she's finished filming that program for Netflix. They finished it. And this program is this documentary is about gardening, cooking, friends, and family. I mean, come on. Meghan Markle doesn't like gardening. I've seen her trying to garden with some children, again for some Netflix documentary clout, in a school in LA when it was COVID and she didn't have a mask on. I saw her face. Her face gives it all away. And cooking, she's a foodie. Oh, I hate if I hear one more person say foodie, you say, what happens to the non-foodies? If you're not a foodie, you're probably going to die of starvation. Everyone's a foodie, just they like different things. I'm a foodie. How ridiculous is that? I'm a watery. Well, if you weren't a watery, you'd die of thirst. I'm a foodie. And so she makes the jam. Pound of fruit, pound of sugar, maybe some apple pectin, I don't know. But, there is no recipe to jam. There isn't a recipe. Well, there's 2 ingredients. And then what else has she done? Dog biscuits. How the hell? I don't even know how she made those dog biscuits, but I bet she didn't conjure up a recipe. I don't know. I mean, she's not the type of person, in my eyes, that should have animals or children. To be honest, she's too self-centered. And I wonder sometimes, animals will obey you for 2 reasons. Either because they love you and they trust you, or because they're frightened of you. And the second one makes me shiver. It just goes through me. When I see a cowed down person or animal, it goes through me. I hate to see somebody afraid to be themselves. But at the same time, I don't mean like Meghan Markle, out there, putting yourself out there too much. There's a balance that we've all got in us. There's a time to speak up for yourself. There's a time to make decisions of your very own. And there's a time when you obey the orders and keep quiet and do it. If you've got that balance in order, then you're made for life. No money can ever put that, can buy that, Meghan hasn't got that. She's too pushy. And that doesn't mean that, we've all got to push for certain things, and we've all got to put our foot down on certain things, and you must never deviate if you truly believe it. But there's also times when, if I met the royal family, God, I'd be curtsying like a good un. Bad knee or not, I'd be down. Even if I fell down, I'd get up and do it again. I would. Because I love it. I love it. Because, and another thing then is that Prince Harry, he wants to buy Frogmore Cottage. Oh, the one that they didn't like because it was so small. Now he wants to buy it. But the thing is, he can't buy it. Prince Charles can't sell it. Harry, I don't know whether he thinks he's that special that Prince Charles is going to do an underhanded, under-the-table deal. No, Harry, you give me 5 million in used banknotes in a brown paper bag and leave it under the bridge. Oh, God. It belongs to the Crown Estates, and the Crown Estates belongs to the Crown and is handed down through the Crown. And should there ever be a disbanded of the Crown, I hope to God there never is, I don't know what would happen to the jewels and the palaces. I don't know, but I certainly think it wouldn't be for the better, because the upkeep of all those things is enormous. As you could see last night by Princess Diana's childhood home, doesn't take long for them to fall into disrepair. It's constant, 24 hours. And Frogmore Cottage is now empty. And I know what Charles has got that earmarked for. He wants his brother Andrew to move into it and get out of Royal Lodge, because Royal Lodge is too big for him and Fergie, and is also falling into disrepair, needs a lot of work. Well, Andrew's trying to get the money to repair it, or I think some people are repairing it in there, but he won't move out while they're repairing it. He's not going to move out. He's staying put, because apparently he signed a lease until, I don't know, I think it's something like 2080, something like that. So, of course, he's got this lease. But Charles wants him out of there. There's no two ways about it. And he wants him and Fergie to have Frogmore Cottage. But he wouldn't give it to Harry, even if that wasn't a plan in Charles's head. Because on the Windsor estate, you can Google this, it's not a particularly attractive place to live, if I'm totally honest. It hasn't got any hills, and being Welsh, I've got to have a mountain in sight. I've got to see a hill of some sort. I can't live on flat land. It's got no hills. It's boggy and marshy. It's another not very good thing, is it? Because it makes for dampness in homes. Then you've got Heathrow Airport, not a mile to the east. And so when the planes take off, I used to check it when Harry and Meghan were living in Frogmore. And when the planes used to fly right over the Frogmore Cottage, they were at 2,000 feet. I thought, my God, that must really be loud. Really, really be loud. And there was a time when I saw a plane. This was at the wedding, I think. A plane actually flew under a helicopter. There's a picture of it. The helicopter was higher up than the aeroplane taking off from Heathrow. That was like a miracle to see that, but it did happen. And wouldn't it be great if they flew over Meghan and Harry's cottage and emptied the latrines at the same time? But they wouldn't do that either, because it's too close to airport. But, so it's not a particularly enviable place to want to live, but it is on the Great Windsor Park estate, and being that it's close to London, and it's where they keep their horses, and it's where the horses go to recuperate and stuff like that. It's got Frogmore House, which is a very big house where they had their wedding reception, and it's got the royal burial site there for Edward and Mrs. Simpson are buried side by side about 200 yards from Frogmore. That was ironic when that happened. And all sorts of little things are there that make it. And Kate and William were going to move into Adelaide Cottage. And I don't know if they are or they're not, but they wanted a place sort of, they didn't want to move into the Windsor Castle, which is also on the estate, but they wanted a place sort of out of London, but not as far away as their house up in by Sandringham is, because that's about 2 hours north of London, whereas Adelaide Cottage would be maybe 20 miles from London, which isn't too bad, just down the M4, and it's a big road because of the airport, so it would be a nice place. But apparently, well, I'm thinking maybe William and Kate want the Royal Lodge. There's also Fort Belvedere. That's another place that's there on the Windsor estate. Adelaide Cottage, Fort Belvedere, Royal Lodge, Frogmore Cottage, and of course Windsor Castle. And there's some more, I suppose. But they don't want Harry and Meghan on that estate. 1,000,000 acres, still too close. And I can imagine, because if I was Catherine and I was living in, say, Adelaide Cottage, which is quite close to Frogmore, imagine your heart pounding every morning when you maybe go and take the dogs for a little walk, thinking, oh, please, God, please don't let me bump into her. Imagine, because all the things she said about Catherine, all the things she said about William and Catherine and Harry, they don't want anything to do with them, and can you blame them? Anyway, that's it for tonight. That's all I got. Ian Sexton needs to be investigated. I need to tell Elon about that next time I text him. Anyway, it's nice to talk to you. I'm going to bed now. I don't know how long I seem to always ramble on a bit, but yeah, 44, that's about right. I'm going to put the link for Pat Tilley, isn't it? His petition, and I ask you to sign it, if only just to prevent Harry having extra favours to get his visa, because that isn't fair at all. Thank you for listening. I'll try and be back tomorrow, if not definitely the day after. And thank you very much for listening. Cheerio!